So if Arc feels confusing at first, that's normal. The game explains just enough to get you moving, then lets you mess up in ways you don't even realize are mistakes yet. You die, you lose stuff, and half the time you're not even sure what you did wrong. That's kind of the game. So instead of dumping every system on you at once, let's talk about the stuff that actually matters when you're starting out. Not meta builds, not endgame optimization, just the things that help you survive, extract, and feel like you're learning instead of flailing. The first tip is treat free loadouts like the real tutorial. If you're new, free loadouts are where you should live for a while. Not because they're exciting, but because they remove the one thing that messes with your head early on, which is gear fear. When you know you're not permanently losing anything, you move differently. You explore more, you're willing to take longer routes, test extraction points, and poke around areas you'd normally avoid. You start paying attention to how Arc units patrol, where people tend to show up, and how loud different actions actually are. You still keep whatever resources you extract with, so it's not wasted time. You're progressing without pressure. Think of free loadouts as learning runs, not throwaway runs. Once you stop panicking every time you hear gunfire, you'll know you're ready to bring custom gear in. Next tip is you don't need to win fights, you need to leave alive. This game does not reward stubbornness. If a fight feels bad, it probably is. Use that intuition. Staying just to prove you can win usually ends with someone third-partying you or an Arc unit wandering in and turning everything into a mess. You're not here to clear the map. You're just here to grab what you need and get out. Sometimes that means shooting, a lot of times it means backing off, taking a longer route, or just waiting 30 seconds for things to cool down. Once you accept that extracting is the actual win, not kills, the game feels way less hostile. You stop forcing situations and start choosing them. Now this is an important part because sound is how most people die without realizing it. If you ever feel like people always know where you are, it's probably because you told them. Sprinting is loud, doors are loud, containers are loud, glass is loud, alarms are extremely loud. Even birds flying away can give you away. The game doesn't hide this, but it also doesn't really warn you either. Moving slower when you're unsure is not playing scared, it's playing smart. Walk instead of sprint. Pause before opening things. Think about whether you actually need to loot that container right now. A lot of deaths happen minutes after the mistakes that caused them. For number 4, you guys need to rebind your dodge roll. This sounds small, but it matters a lot. The default dodge roll key is awkward, and in a game where reactions matter, awkward gets you murked. Dodge rolling saves you from arc swarms, helps you survive PvP peaks, and can even cancel fall damage if you time it right. But that only works if you can hit it without thinking. You'll even notice it throughout this video. I jump from a ledge and then I immediately roll. That's why. So change the bind early. Make it something your hand naturally goes to. You don't want to be thinking about your keyboard when something goes wrong. Now number 5 is the matter of greed. Learn what enough loot actually means. At some point in every run, you need to ask yourself one question. If I extract now, am I happy with this? If the answer is yes, then you should probably leave. The game will always tempt you with one more building or one more container, but that's how runs end. You're not gambling. You don't have to put it all on red. Extraction points are dangerous. They're very chaotic, predictable, and often watched by other people who are just waiting for someone like you who spent a little too much time and has something that somebody else might want. So leaving early doesn't mean that you're scared or that you're a coward. It just means that you've played consistently and you know when enough is enough. Number 6, rubber and mechanical parts are way more important than they look. Early on, you're gonna feel like you're always missing something. Most of the time, that something is rubber. Rubber and mechanical parts are used in upgrades, repairs, and crafting core components. If you ignore mechanical and industrial containers early, your progression slows down way harder later. You'll have weapons, but no way of maintaining them. It's not exciting, but it's the stuff that keeps everything else moving. Prioritize it early, and you'll thank yourself later. Number 7, movement and stamina matter way more than damage at first. It's tempting to chase damage perks early, but they don't help if you're out of stamina, overloaded, or stuck in bad positions. Early skill points are better spent on stamina regen, carry capacity, and movement efficiency. Being able to reposition, escape, and loot faster directly affects how often you extract successfully. You can worry about hitting harder later. Right now, you want to live longer. Alright, here I want you guys to use the practice range so you stop guessing. The game doesn't really teach you how weapons behave. recoil, attachments, and how different guns handle against arc armor are things you're expected to figure out yourself. The practice range lets you do that without losing anything. You can test what feels comfortable, what actually works, and what doesn't fit your playstyle. This saves you from learning during live runs where mistakes cost you progress. If fights feel random or unfair, it's usually because you don't know your gear yet. And second to last is to know your extraction options before you're panicking. Not all extraction points work the same way. Some are loud, some need keys, some are safer but slower. Knowing this ahead of time matters more than you think. A lot of deaths happen when someone reaches an extraction point while bleeding, overloaded, and out of stamina, only to realize that they have no idea how it works. If you already understand your options, you're making decisions instead of panicking. That alone saves your run. And last but not least is the most important thing you need to take into consideration when you're playing. Arc Raiders is basically a stealth game. It is not your typical, battle. It's not even a battle royale, but people sometimes play this game like it is a battle royale, and it's not that. This is something that you need to know, because arc enemies are predictable once you learn them. The players, though, they're not. The game rewards people who move deliberately, plan routes, and only fight when it makes sense. If you treat every run like a stealth extraction instead of a battle royale, things slow down in a good way. You notice patterns, you stop reacting to every sound, you extract more often without even feeling like you're trying harder. So Arc isn't hard because it's unfair, it's hard because it doesn't tell you what matters. Once you understand that survival, sound, and decision making are the real mechanics, the game starts to feel readable instead of chaotic. You don't need to be cracked, you just need to be patient, aware, and willing to leave with what you've got. That's how progress actually happens here. And if you guys have any tips for your fellow players, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I missed, so if there's something that you want to add to the conversation, feel free. If you like this video, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel to let me know that you want me to make more stuff like this. At any rate though, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, make sure to take care.